go. Take two. Greetings, everyone. This is Channel 42 Radio. Today's program in the cafe. We are visiting Slade Braddock at his Optimus Prime base. So here we go. We're going to come on over and visit him. Slade has been a member of the cafe for a long time. He has also a member of the FDI and leader of EPIC, which is his own civ. Slade is just one of those guys. He can do everything. I talked about it an awful lot in the featured post for multi-tools and ships and all kinds of things like that. He's found it all, and he's also an incredible builder. So we are here to visit his base, his most recent base. Here we go. I'm just going to wait for that to pop. It's coming. Yeah, I'm going to look away, let it pop for a minute. Without further ado, since Slade is here, let's welcome Slade Braddock to In the Cafe. Slade, welcome.
Hey, thanks, buddy. It's really good to be here. I'm honored and pretty embarrassed, but very honored and humbled. And that was an amazing introduction. Thank you very much. I'm not sure any of that was true.
It is. It's all true. You're a fantastic guy. I'm just circling your base now, waiting for it to load, and as soon as it is, I'm going to land and meet you up inside. We've got all kinds of great things to talk about. Slade, you've done so much in the game, for the community. It really is a true honor to be able to do this with you today. So the honor is also mine, and I've been really looking forward to getting to know you. Oh, I think we're almost there.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, it's a little bit to it, so it takes a little bit to come all the way in for sure. I did notice that the teleporter is not working for me on this base either, so yeah, I need to throw down some teleporters. But like I said, we can sneak in the back way. I know our way in.
All right, I'm just doing a little panoramic view. This is pretty amazing.
I had a lot of fun with this build.
Wow. My pictures don't do it justice. I'm going to take off and fly in. I'm going to do it again. Give me a moment here. This is too awesome to not see. All right, let's come in at a little bit of a distance. Now that it's fully in. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy smokes. Oh, there's my ship getting hung up on your base. That's just amazing, Slade. All right, let me land here and let's get together.
Okay, where'd you go? I gotta locate you now.
It's all good.
Are you down at the bottom?
Yep, just landing here.
Oh, because I didn't leave you a spot on the landing pad.
Oh, that's okay. I don't need it. I've got the new S-Class launch upgrade. It's perfect.
Oh, very cool. Well, and you probably won't need it because we were talking about low gravity, so you could go for miles on one jetpack. So, and I don't have just a real quick. I left the Radio 42.
Yep.
Channel because it was buzzing one night. And I couldn't figure out a way to turn off notifications. Kept making my phone buzz.
No
and
worries.
I was pissing my wife.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can always join up again. It's an open chat, so no worries. The notifications can be annoying at times. I understand that. God, that gun looks just awesome, man. Holy smokes. I love how you did that.
Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. I worked for a while on that. Well, it was my first wiki that I did on it, the wiki entry. It was just a bunch of black blocks where the gun was, and I thought, hey, I think we could do better than that. So I kind of retooled everything, and I built a lounge area in the chest area, and kind of did some more interior work. I'm not great with interior, so on this build, because all my builds are block builds, and I didn't do so when I built like the panda base. I don't know if you've seen that, and the Sphinx. They're all hollow builds, but I was too embarrassed to try and put some kind of interior in them because I'm not a decorator at all. I'm just not. I see some other people's stuff, and I just go, "Where'd you come up with that idea?" To me, it's just it's foreign. But on this one, I thought I got to do something because I've got to make it a legit base, with teleporters and the amenities that everyone else has in there. So I kind of went out of my way, and I made the area rather small so that I wouldn't have a lot to try and decorate. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Jesus, man, I can't believe it. Like the detail, even in the guns and stuff, just looks amazing. The head, you've got the head nailed down perfect. Even the legs, the way you've got the mechanics and the things on the legs there to make it look like knees and joints. Excellent job, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a bit of a cheat. I didn't invent this all on my own. I took a lot of liberties, but there's a lot of programs out there and a lot of websites with like Lego builds and things like that. So I borrow a little bit. I borrow a lot, honestly, from some things and just kind of put my twist on it. So it's not exactly like the model that I was using by any means. Some parts of it are not as good, and other parts maybe a little bit better because they're
That's
a
what the
little more.
community is for, the sharing.
Yeah. I'm not a creative person, honestly. I'm more mathematically inclined. That's but I'm learning to be. As I get older, I'm learning to be more creative. It's really weird. I've discovered, tapped into a creative side of me that I am kind of coming to later in life for whatever reason. But I'm enjoying it a lot.
I think this game brings it out in a lot of us. We buy this game at first because of the open aspect, and then we get creative, and it's given us so many things to be creative with. Um, they keep giving us more things to get more creative. And I mean, geez, it really shows, how you start from one place in a progression of, say, building like yourself, and you come to a point where a little time has passed, you've learned a few tricks, and you come up with something just, jaw-dropping. And you've done that a lot of times over the last little while. The dragon, that thing was so big and so awesome. You had the wings perfectly curved, the head, the mouth, the teeth, even the body and its shape was unbelievable. The bird, the race cars, dude, you've got some amazing stuff here. This is really, I think this one is probably one of the tops. Definitely one of the tops. Unbelievable build. Let's have a look around.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah,
Now, here's another bit of an issue. I don't know if you're going to be able to follow me in here because to some people,
it doesn't work. That's
got
happened on some of my
it,
bases. Yeah.
yeah, for whatever reason, the door is there and certain people were not able to get into the room. Panda was able to get in, and now you, so that's fantastic. I'm very happy about that. So
Me too.
this is this is the visitors lobby. There should be a sign-in guest book here somewhere, but we don't have those yet. They took away our comms balls, so you can't use that unless you have a building permissions and someone and that person is actually logged in with you. At that point, why would you need to leave one because you're, you know, but that's kind of a bummer where we can't leave comms balls anymore. But they should at
Yeah,
least give us some kind of a sign-in guest book, where you could leave
a message. Yeah.
a Slade was here or something, But So yeah, the trade terminal is just for looks. Since we're in an uncharted system, you might be able to buy 5 pieces of ferrite dust at a time. Very poor system here.
It's more about the
But
selling than it is the buying when you come have a trade terminal in your own base.
Right, that's true. That's true. So that's really all there is to this. This is just sort of a greeting system. I thought about putting the teleporter in here so you could take that, and I still may do that. Probably be wiser than leaving it on the landing pad. But as it's not working anyway, we're going to have to sneak around, like I said, to the back way to get in here. So
All right.
this is, yeah, that's all there is to this room.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jetpack to. There's an opening in the back of his head, and this is the alternate access route that I was using. Did I lose you?
No, low gravity. I overshot my target. Ah, here we are. Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, and you know what? I walled it. It looks like I walled it off. So what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna delete that, and there we are. Just drop right down into the chestal region.
Ah, nice. Oh, this is cool in here. Oh, I like that. Nice. It's like a whole
Yeah, like I
cockpit
said,
and everything in here. This is awesome.
I'm still super noob at this interior decoration thing. I'm trying to get the hang of it a little bit to where it's not.
It's all in the lighting, I find. That is, for me, the hardest thing is to get the lighting right to set the mood and to make it look just right. Of course, they've changed it now with electricity, so you really got to think about, the wiring and the things you're putting in there. Oh, look at that. Oh, you brought Nip to the party.
Leave home without it, buddy.
I think it's time to sit down. There we go. Let's see if I pick up a seat. Perfect.
Yeah.
I do love these new couches you can sit at. These are great.
Yeah. Why can't I sit? Where's
You
my
should be able
prompt?
to. Should be able to.
Do you have to access the menu? I don't know that
No,
I've ever done.
it
Oh, there
it
we
should
go.
just say sit. Yeah.
There we are. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Well, this. I was always wondering how comfortable this couch would be. Now I know.
There we go.
Oh, why did it make me? I went into camera mode and it made me stand up. Looks
Ah,
like I'm.
oh, that's weird.
Well, not once I went out of camera mode, I was sitting back down, but then I moved and now I'm standing up. Okay.
Well, you showing us your
Oh,
outfit. There we go.
I'm gonna have to get Lily to show me how this is done. The whole
She's the
sitting
master of
thing.
sitting. That's right. The
Yes.
Gex sits
And
through
sitting on
everything.
things.
uh, Slade, where are you from geographically?
Okay, so originally I am from the state of Washington, and the outskirts, just south and west of Seattle, in the
Uh-huh.
Mount Rainier area, and was raised in the country on a farm, and kind of gradually, as I got older, I kind of gravitated toward larger towns and whatnot. But yeah, I'm a farm boy,
Well,
and
you're close. You're only a couple hundred miles from me. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, which is just
oh,
north of you. Yeah, I had
well,
no
that's
idea we were
that's
so close.
well, we're not actually, because I'm in New York now.
Oh, that's
But
too
I am
funny.
originally from Seattle.
Okay, so you're Seattle born, and now you're in New York. Wow, busy New York.
I'm a, tr- I'm a
Is,
transplant, yeah.
is it as busy and crazy as everyone talks about?
Um, it is in the city, but as I mentioned, I'm a country boy, so I live in upstate New York. I don't live in the city of New York,
Yeah.
and it's strangely it's very much like Seattle. It's very green. There are more deciduous trees and more evergreens in Seattle, firs and that and whatnot. But over here it's there's a lot more oaks and maples and things like that, leafy leafy trees, and it's really beautiful this time of year. And right now the leaves are changing, and it's beautiful, beautiful over here. But it's very mountainous, very country. I'm in the Adirondack mountain range, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a lot like home, honestly. It's I have been to the city only once, New York City, and I'm not sure I'll ever go back.
Yeah,
But it
you hear
was
these
really fun
stories.
to visit.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Wow, man, that's really cool. So you're on both sides. You have roots there. That's really cool that you know that you get to see sort of the different side of the greenery. You know, over the entire uh, continent, I guess. You see the leafy on one side and the you know the pine and fir trees on the other. Um, what's the weather like? Is it you got like rain or is it just kind of like mild and nice?
It's well, the summers are beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and it doesn't rain anywhere near as much as it does in Washington. So as much as I love my home and I appreciate all my upbringing, I will never go back to that depressing, overcast, gray ass state, uh, unless it's to visit my family. It's
You
it's
know,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful in that area. I mean, it really really is in the summer and when the skies are blue and the sun is out, there is no more beautiful place on earth. The problem with that is that that's about 2 weeks out of the 52 in the year, and
that's right.
I didn't realize until I moved out of that area how depressed I was a great majority of the time just because of the weather. So out here in upstate New York, it's a lot more sunny, a lot more of the time.
Oh,
The
sweet.
winters the winters are brutal. I will say that. That's my biggest knock, and we're going into that now. So we're talking about snow plowing quite a bit, and I have a big four-wheel drive pickup, so I'm not as in such dire straits as I have been in the past. But the winters are brutal, but the summers are great.
Yeah, as we say out here, the liquid sunshine, because that's all there is. It's just rain all the time. Um,
You
I,
got webbed feet, right?
yeah, well, I guess it's like a like a rainforest out here. It's just nonstop rain. It's pretty when it's sunny out, but yeah, it rains a lot. You get used to it, I guess, if born up out this way and raised out here. You don't realize that it's depressing until after you leave it, though. You're right. Which is why we love to go to Mexico and all those other city places.
hmm But it is beautiful, and I will say that in Vancouver is especially so. What a beautiful place, and I don't mean to knock it at all. I love the Pacific Northwest. I love everything about it except for the rain. But unfortunately, that's a deal breaker for me where I'm at in my life right now.
Hey,
Because
no offense taken. Everybody has a preference as to how they like to live their life and the climate they choose to live it. So, kudos to you for finding happiness somewhere. Um, that's like really, that's what it's all about, in my opinion, anyways. Um,
yeah,
I'm going to just move on here. What You've played this game for, I think, since the beginning. I'm pretty sure you're a day one player. What's been keeping you coming back all these years? Like, what keeps you interested?
well, different things at different times. At first, when the game came out, as you know, you're a launch player too, yeah. So
That's right. Yeah.
um, yeah, I had it on. I was watching the progress of this game when it hadn't come out yet, and just I knew from the time I saw the write up in Game Informer magazine, which was I don't know almost a year before it actually did drop. I've been following the game. So when it first came out, it was a solo, just like it was billed as a solo game, a real lonely space experience that reminded me of the pulp sci-fi books that I read when I was a kid. I'm 52 years old, so I remember TV shows like Lost in Space,
Oh,
and I
wow.
remember
Yeah.
when Star Trek was prime time. Okay, I can remember when I have a very vivid memory when I had the measles when I was 5 years old, and my whole family was out in the living room watching Star Trek in prime time, Captain Kirk and company, and I was stuck in bed and wasn't allowed out in the living room, so I couldn't watch it. I was so angry.
Uh,
Uh, but
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Do you remember those
well,
shows?
that came a lot later,
Yeah,
Battlestar
that was
Galactica, but
80s, I
Buck
think. Yeah.
Rogers. Yeah, like I said, but I remember like Lost in Space was one of my favorite shows, and then the Twilight Zone. They had a lot of episodes where they had these cheesy, corny, spaceships, from fishing wire that you could still see the wires, going
Yeah.
across. But but that was, hey, that was cutting edge graphics back then, and that was, something that hadn't ever been shown before, or even, attempted. It was only in, like I said, those Pulp Fiction sci-fi books, uh, and they're trying to adapt that feel to the screen, and they did a great job, which, it stands the test of time. My wife and I are watching Star Trek on Netflix. We're going through the whole season again, so
Oh,
it
right
stands
on.
up.
Yeah.
But to get to back to your question, it was that lonely solo. You're on a planet in a busted down ship, and you're about to die if you can't figure this stuff out and figure what was going on. That blew me away, DG. I was enthralled from the moment I had to fix my ship. Stepped out. I was in heaven. Um, Now, I'm not going to get caught up in all the old, No Man's Lie, garbage, because to me it didn't really affect me at all. I never really understood, I did understand that people could be upset that the game wasn't all they expected it to be, but I knew with the game engine that it had that all things would be rectified in the end, and that this was merely a skeleton uh, in need of lots of flesh, and there was no way they were going to put all the flesh on the bones, and you know in just the amount of time that they had with the size of team that they had. So it didn't kill me. But I did lose my interest after I had done everything, and everything was sort of a dead end. Um, I had done everything that I could do, uh, and so I put it down. Sadly, I put it down because I was waiting for the inevitable update, and so I got involved in some other games. Then I discovered Community. That's what fired me back up. There had been two updates, I think it was, and I came back for, was it Pathfinder? Um, when the Exocraft, I'm trying to remember which.
Yeah, that was Pathfinder. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I came back when Pathfinder came out, and I haven't put it down since. It's just
It was a good
because
update.
because
Yeah.
it was an amazing update, and I also discovered Community. I discovered other players out there, and how to connect up with them, and there was just enough improvement on the game to kind of open up those vistas of Community. Which, like I said, originally, that's why I say my what's kept me coming back has been just nuanced aspects of the game, and the community thing was huge for me because I loved the solo experience. I love that lonely space exploration thing, and I cherish that memory for what that was. And if that was all I ever got out of No Man's Sky, it was so worth it.
It's a great
Uh,
experience. It is. And
it just
doing it
is.
again is fun too. You've done it before. Some people think of it as a grind. It may be, but I encourage everyone to try it again in the aspect of the way the game has been rebuilt. Um, those experiences and those moments, I love those first moments, and I gather you do as well because you talk so highly of that first moment of having it to make your ship, find resources before you die, and this was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
like it wasn't like brand new to gaming, but the experience that the game itself gave you was new. I hadn't
yeah,
experienced that with
yeah.
any of the other survival type games at all. So it was really awesome for me and a lot of other players. And I always go back to those first moments. I think that's why I've made so many saves is just because I like those first moments so much.
Yeah, yeah, it was really truly a unique gaming experience for me, and I've played a lot of games. I'm not a quote unquote gamer because I'm a little old for that, but I've been playing video games for a very long time. I do remember when Pong came out. Okay, um,
Yes, I
you
had
know,
an
I
Atari.
remember playing converted graphic based games on a Commodore 64 when I was in ninth grade.
Yeah.
Um, and there was a TR. We had I think we had 4 computers in our computer room. 3 of them were Commodore 64s, and it was one Tandy Radio Shack 80. You remember the TRS 80?
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
I do remember those. Yeah.
and
Our school
and
had
and
one. We just had one computer in our school.
yeah,
We were the lucky ones, I guess. So, um,
I guess so.
God, the times, man, how they changed, the video games, communities, and everything. Um,
Mhm.
it's been a hell of a ride. One of the things that you talked about that's kept you coming back was, the different aspects of the game as it's progressed in its development over the years. One of the things I've noticed very recently in what you've been doing with and for the community is you're making an awful lot of videos on YouTube. And you know, it seems to be that you're kind of the go-to guy these days for looking at some really new and cutting edge scientific stuff. A little bit of glitching. Um, I don't consider it cheating. Glitching is part of the game. It's part of the open aspect of the universe. You choose to do it or you choose not to do it, and we all know um, what the risks are. Um, what what made you decide to make some of these videos? And uh, I'm not saying it's right or wrong to share them. I like to see them. I like to see all the different things that people do with them. What was your decision in why you wanted to make these videos in the first place?
Okay. Well, I have actually only a couple of glitch videos that I've got out. Most of my videos are just like my base tour that I put out there. But they're all made for the same reason, and that's really just to share, what I've done or what I've learned, in the game. And that's really, to me, that's what this game is really mostly about. You're sharing, whether it's experiences or whether it's videos or screenshots or your unique build base. Um, to me, it's that's part of our community, and as being the cafe, which we modeled the FDI after the cafe. We just love that. So that's what we wanted it to be. Was just where a place where people can share um, experiences, in game, out of game. It really doesn't matter. And so the videos are just an outpouring of my desire to share, whatever I've made or whatever I've learned over the years with other players. The glitching specifically, the exploits, with duping and with ship customization, was just so many people have been wanting ship customization for a long time. And really, I kept this stuff under my hat for about 2 or 3 weeks before I even let on to anybody that I knew how to do it, because I was kind of on the fence on I don't want to ruin the game for anybody, and I know that for some people that's a possibility. But there's so many other people out there that were just I've already gotten so many positive responses. Oh, dude, this is what I've been looking for since I played this game, and you really opened up new horizons by thanks for sharing this. And then I've also got some hate from people. Well, we didn't want this to get out because we uh, we think Hello Games doesn't know what we're doing, and they're going to patch it out if they find out. Well, listen, guys, glitching and duping has been in the game for a long time. Hello Games is more than aware of that, and I think they've been very generous in letting us keep that, because we've got some amazing builds due to glitching. We've got people, if it wasn't for duping, honestly, I don't know if I'd have played as much or if I'd been interested. If glitch building hadn't come out, I don't know that I would still be base building and kind of have a renewed interest in that. I don't know. I probably would, but I know that it has definitely enhanced my experience, and I just want to share that with everybody else. I'm not trying to get popular on YouTube, because if I did, I'd probably make better videos, but and probably watch my language more and things like that.
It's your channel. You have
It,
the right to say what you like on your channel, and
that's right.
you
I'm
bought
not.
the game. You have the right to play it whichever way you feel is giving you the fun and enjoyment that you want. This is an open game. It is an open world. It's no competition. Doing any of those things doesn't make your save any more powerful or less powerful than any other save that is or isn't using any of those techniques or glitches. It's all about having fun, and that's what, like, we at the cafe and the FDI and other communities. That's what we're promoting is fun within the game, whether it's, you know, a glitch here or there, or none at all. You can be traditionalist and still have a lot of fun. You can glitch and still have fun with the two different dynamics of players, um, because it doesn't change anything other than just how you go about your daily business. Um, I do in some, and I don't on others. Um, People have the choice to do it and not do it. And that's my opinion, and it sounds to me like that's your opinion as well. They're great
Yeah, yeah.
videos. If anyone is interested in any of those, go ahead, check out his channel. He's got some good stuff, including something, one of my favorites, is the longest recorded warp in NMS history. You know I love this one, guys. Slade has managed to warp somewhere along the lines of 9,000 light years in one shot. That was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. I
um,
saw
uh,
that.
Thank you. I'm looking to shatter that record. I think I can get it up over 10 grand.
Oh my
The
goodness. I will be watching and waiting because that's some pretty awesome stuff. Um, yeah, I have to admit, to have one jump that long, going to the center must only take a few jumps.
Well, it still take you a little while. It may take you an afternoon, but yeah, it definitely cuts the old warp time in way down there.
Oh wow, yeah, I can imagine. So you're a leader over at the FDI, and you have your own Civ, which is epic. Excuse me for a moment here while I clear my throat. Um, y- how did it all get going with the FDI and uh, getting Epic connected with the FDI the cafe in creating the FDI? Tell us your side of how that all came to be.
Okay, well, it's it's a little tricky. I got to be careful the words that I say because I will say this. We owe this is the best way I could probably put this is the FDI would not be in existence if it wasn't for this gentleman named Tempest back in the day. Um, who's known by other names, and he has become a pretty solid guy and a community guy over the years and or over the past couple of years. I can actually say that because it has been a couple of years. Um, the FDI was born out of a desire to create it's multiple different things. Um, so it was originally envisioned by Panda and I, coming out of another organization that was founded in the Delta Quadrant. And I'll try and nutshell this because it can be a very long story, owing to the history of the Delta region and the wild west sort of mentality, the multiple attempts to create a hub there that was sanctioned by the Fed, the United Federation of Travelers, which was back in the day the premier, you know, sort of conglomeration of various civs, and they had a system that they were originally there was supposed to be sanctioned hubs in each of the four quadrants. They had it divided in alpha, beta, gamma, delta,
I
and
remember
they
this.
had
Yes.
yeah, they had the AGT was in one, and then you had the Galactic Hub was in I want to say Gamma quadrant, um, and there was another one and I'm not remembering what it was, but in the Delta there had been attempts at establishing a hub, but there was war very early on in the game. I'm not sure how much was role play, but there were bases destroyed, and there was, and Hova, the Empire of Hova had come along and taken care in this war and had, pretty much wiped out the offending parties. So my goal was to establish an actual hub, sanctioned by the Gamepedia Wiki, sanctioned by the United Federation of Travelers, recognized by the Fed. Um, and that's sort of that whole idea of one hub per quadrant had been abandoned due to the fact that the game exploded and there were just hubs everywhere, of varying sizes. There aren't a lot of big hubs of it. This year we actually did become Wikipedia canonized, for lack of a better word, as a hub in the Delta Quadrant. So we sort of realized a dream there. So that's one aspect of what it was. Panda wanted an open civ where there weren't a lot of rules, just right, kind of like the Outback restaurant, no rules, just right. And that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted something. You didn't have naming conventions. You didn't have where you could or could not build a base or establish a trade route or whatever it might be. We just wanted, guys to come in, guys and gals, players of all stripes, just to come in and just to have a good time, and we'll kind of figure out as we go, and we've done that. I think we've been largely successful. But we always wanted that cafe feel to it because, the cafe was, I avoided the Galactic Hub. I avoided, I like the AGT for being kind of spread out, and it was never sort of a hub until here more recently, where they had a localized gathering place. Before it was just guys all over the game, really, not just in Euclid, but and now they've got more localized. But I always I never wanted to be a part of someone else's hub. Although I admired the cafe and I admired the Amino Hub, I wanted something of my own. I wanted something with my own spin on it. So coming out of the Galactic Consortium, of which Epic was a part of, and Panda and Sword and all those guys had been part of the Galactic Consortium. When that kind of imploded rather, and I won't bore you with the details on that, but leadership sort of disbanded there, and there was a lot of angst and mistrust and bad feelings about that. And Panda was a victim of that because he gave his heart and soul, as he does quite often to everything. He's got just a huge heart. And when the Galactic Consortium failed, he was really personally injured in that, and I felt really bad for him. At the same time, I also saw an opportunity where he had some presence on the internet. He had a lot of personality and a big heart, and I was naturally just sort of gravitated to him, and I thought, if he and I can hook up with my knowledge of the game and my knowledge of the history of the game, and his he's got the right spirit and he's got the presence, and I thought to myself, we could really band together and build this FDI. And about that same time, as we were still in the early planning stages, I was in contact with Lily Hop, and I had admired her and you and others of the No Man's Sky Cafe. I really identified mostly with you guys, and if anything didn't work out with the FDI, I'm still involved in the cafe. I'm still a cafe member, but I would have been, I would have thrown all my efforts into the cafe. But Lily and Lily came alongside as we were fleshing this thing out, and really made it happen. Lily came in and did a bunch of artwork and created logos for everybody. You did the science and helped her even find the locations, and just really made it happen. And it was really all four of us, you, I, Lily, and Panda together. That really is the heart and soul of the FDI. And
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun exploring and finding things and developing it. I like to think the FDI is probably one of the biggest success developments that we've worked on and helped with building another community.
Well, it's just been such a pleasure knowing you guys and working with you, and again, it's such a stark contrast with how the Galactic Consortium went, and sort of all my experiences with all the other hubs. Now, I'm not saying, there's some wonderful people that I've met after the fact from the Galactic Hub and from the AGT. Zaz is an amazing guy, and the more I get to know him, the better I like him all the time. Um, and I've known really really great people from all those other organizations. Um, but to me, my family is always going to be, the cafe, and the FDI. Those are my peeps, for lack of
That's your
lack of a
home.
better explanation. Yeah, and it's kept me in this game, that sense of community, and the beautiful thing about the cafe and the FDI is the type of people that are naturally drawn uh, to these organizations is because they see other guys. It's just bizarre how we haven't had to weed any hateful
Good.
people out.
Well, good
You know?
people draw in other good people, and then you become a community of good people, and it seems to be almost contagious. You almost don't even have to advertise; they just find you,
Yeah, we
and
don't.
it's
I mean, you know, in the
uh,
early stages, I started advertising, and I just thought, it's probably having a negative effect, and I just went, no, this is either going to grow organically or it's just not going to work at all. Um, I don't want to have to please anybody or offer anything to anybody for fellowship, other than fellowship itself. If that's not good enough, well, then, you know, and I kind of had to learn that lesson sort of the hard way. Um, and just gave up. And when that happened, like I said, it did happen organically. And now we've got amazing members. I mean, I could list. We got Stark Wolf and Wizard and Panda, and you got John Hall, and you got one of my favorite guys in the game, Agent Tomcat, and I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's just too many people to name. We just have some really stellar human beings,
they all are.
in the
They
group,
all
and
are.
that's just the FDI. The cafe's got even more. So, you know,
Uh,
uh,
I love your little thing in the
it's
morning with the coffee. For those of you who haven't checked out FTI, they got this thing in the morning where they do a good morning and a coffee GIF, and it's always something new. I check it out every day and take a little peek in there. Sometimes I'll say good morning, and other times it's just on the way to bed, as I'm on the night shift. But yeah, you guys got this great thing going over there. It's such a tight community, and everybody's just so awesome and friendly. The FDI is, excuse me, I seem to have a frog in my throat. The FDI is definitely one of my favorite places, not just to visit, but also to hang out with the community because, everybody's so friendly there. It's just like the cafe 2.0 kind of thing, like there's more friends, more family. They're just over there, over an FDI. Um, we're starting to run a little bit short on time, and I want to make sure we catch everything here. So I'm going to ask you one final question, Slade.
Mhm.
I ask this to everybody else. Do you, sir, have the answers to life and everything else in between?
You mean the life, the universe, and everything?
That's right, everything.
Uh, well, it depends. It depends. If 42 is indeed the answer, then the answer is yes. Uh, but I still don't know what that means.
I'm still searching. I'm still searching, and I'm in 42, and I'm still searching. But the answers have got to be there somewhere.
We'll
Slade,
keep looking. We'll scour the galaxies until we find it, won't we?
absolutely, absolutely. Slade, it's been an absolute pleasure today. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. It was awesome to come to your base for a change of scenery, and visit you on your amazing base here at Optimus Prime. Thank you very much for being on the show. And you know what? I look forward to a lot more talks and a lot more time in and around your community, and just having a lot more fun. The game is. Some people think the game is getting old at 3 years. I think it's just beginning. And the
I think so
community
too.
is really, really starting to take off. The community is setting itself aside as probably one of the most unique and amazing communities in any video game. Um, so, hey, take that, HG fans. You're awesome.
And I just want to say that the pleasure is all mine, DJ. I love what you're doing. Um, I'm honored and humbled to be one of the people that you've chosen to spotlight. But and what an amazing thing that you're doing. And I got more cues to take from you and from the cafe and Lily Hop. And you know what? It's been a huge pleasure, and I'm also looking forward to many more opportunities like this and some collaborations maybe in the future, different things.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys are the best. Thank you again. This is in the cafe, and that is Slade's Braddock. Check out his stuff.
Peace, y'all.